Welcome back to Satisfactory version 1. We're already in episode 4, so don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see the full playlist. And today, this is also the first episode where I'm gonna start using over here to-do list. So you can write in the to-do list some things over here. You can have also as many as you want of these. I showed you that before, right? You press Q and you can press the plus button or minus to add this on the side. And that shows me, what I'm planning to build and how much resources are needed for this. So yeah, let's get started. And before we continue, upgrading our base over here and start developing, and especially on that side, I actually want to go on the other side over here. And in particular there, you can see there is a strange thing there, right? So let's go check it out. This is how we're gonna get our first hard drive. There is, of course, a couple of enemies here and there, so we need to be careful. There's also something over here. Maybe we'll go check it out after. So this is indeed basically, a satellite or something that crashed, right, on the planet. And because it crashed, you can see there's pieces all around. Usually they are hard to reach. So you have two ways to get there. Usually you can actually find a way to climb. And I'm going to show you for this one in particular how. The other way, frankly, is just to build ramps. Like we're going to press R to go into zoop mode. Right? When you press R, you change from default to zoop and sometimes to also other mode. So with zoop, we could basically do something like this, and then you just need to go far enough that you can make a ramp that goes all the way. But for this one in particular, and for many again, you can actually usually climb. So let's try climbing around. Here it is. We're gonna go here. There's also usually some enemies, so be careful. But so far so good. I'm gonna climb over here, climb there. No, actually, maybe here. Yeah, climb here, climb there. Okay, here it is. We're almost there. Oops, sorry. I need to make sure not to fall. And usually you're also going to find a lot of resources next to those dropship. And frankly, especially at the beginning of the games, these are critical because these are things, I don't have, right? I cannot make rotors or modular frames. So if I ever need some, that is great. I know some people that prefer to actually put them in a sink right away. But anyway, a couple of resources there. I don't know if there's a few more in the back. No. And maybe there is some down, but I didn't see them. I don't see actually other ones. But the most important thing is you'll always have a drop pod like this. You press E to open it, and then each of these will require something to open. Sometimes they require some resources, like this one requires 5 iron rod. Sometimes they require resources and electricity. Sometimes I think just electricity. Basically, you're gonna need to do something, right? But in this case, it's 5 iron rod, so that's easy. We can pay this, open the door, and now we get our first hard drive. Analyze it in the MAM. So we're gonna do that for sure. Oh, there's another one here.
Drive successfully acquired. All pioneers are contractually obliged to preserve and secure any recovered hard drives for analysis in the MAM, which may result in benefits to the Fix-It mission. Speculation as to why there are crashed freighters in your Fix-It designated zone is discouraged as specified in your contract.
We're not supposed to ask why they're here. Okay, that's fine. I won't. Oh, and we said maybe we should go check this out. 2 enemies. And I just hope there's no spiders inside. I don't remember this one. Let's go. Whoa! Okay, 1 down. And 2 down. That wasn't too hard. I see there's also something over here. But first, let's go inside. Take those leaves as always. Remember to take all the leaves until we get to coal at least. Okay. That's dangerous, but let's check it out. I feel like there are gonna be spiders, which I hate. Oh, maybe not. I don't see any spiders. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, no spiders. Perfect. But there is another summer loop, so definitely let's get it.
Play.
Ooh, that's some strange things happening with those aliens. Okay. Take also these bacon. And that was it, right? Nothing else? Okay. Let's come out. Come out and come out. Get quickly... press C to go down. And here it is. I'm not sure we're gonna be able to get to that one without a ramp, but that will enable me to show you how to actually build a quick ramp quickly. Alright. And then we can move forward and actually build the MAM and start analyzing many of those things. Whoa. It's trying to escape. Actually, no, we can. Perfect. I was telling you, most of the time you don't actually need a ramp. Most people think you do, but you just need to be looking around and find a way in. Okay, there's some... is that Caterium? It was good to take it. Yeah. Especially now that we're gonna build the MAM, it will be great to have a few more. Okay, let's go back to the base. I'll see you in a second. Okay, we're back at the base and we've done the first objective, right? First hard drive. Before we build the MAM and look at all of the things we can do inside, I do want to show you that I've cut a lot of tree and further optimized my fuel automation. So the trees obviously were on that side, right? Close to the sea or close to the river. It's not the sea, it's a river. So there used to be quite a few trees all the way over here, right? They are not all gone. They're all been cut. So that gave me quite a lot of leaves of wood. And so I started automating this a bit further, where now I have this storage container full of biomass. That way it goes automatically into the constructor to be transformed into solid biofuel. And you may remember I said this one 60 per minute. So it's basically in 1.5 minutes it's full, right? So we also have a storage container over here so that it doesn't get full right away, basically. And with this, right, we have a 3 biomass burner. They're working well. Let's put a few more while we're here. Right. Okay. Now this is not the final automation. We're gonna make it even better very soon. But first, let's finally build our MAM. So where should we actually build it? Maybe we're gonna build it over here behind. So go to spatial MAM over here. You can build multiple of them, by the way. It doesn't have to be just one, but let's have one to start next to our base. So this is almost like, you know, I know that the hub feels a bit like a research tree, but this is like a secondary research tree where we're gonna have quite a few different trees, and I've actually already unlocked most of them. There is only one that I haven't, which is, which one is that? Fungus-like growth. I don't remember. Anyway, first we have the hard drive. We can scan hard drive. Then we're gonna have the alien flora. This is, you know, when you kill somebody. So for example, here I can research, right? Using one of the hog remain. I can do this first research, and now with this, I have unlocked the alien protein.
Remains researched belong to an organism now dubbed the fluffy-tailed hog. It has many characteristics that would likely classify it among the Suidae family were it native to Earth. Hog remains can now be made into alien protein, and additional research may reveal options for improving pioneer safety during exploration.
Okay. And now it's gonna say the same basically for this one. So let's stop it. But yeah, we've unlocked now a new production. And this is going to be necessary for the next one, right? The alien DNA capsule. And then there's going to be others, right? We'll discover them along the way. Similarly, here we have the alien technology, where you remember we did find one Mercer sphere. We did find also a summer sloop. So we're going to be able to start unlocking some of this. We haven't found yet some SAM. So I'm going to want to get on with this. Caterium, same, right? So a lot of research, nutrients, and we found those 3, so we're gonna want to do this. Power slug, that's a very important one. Let's actually do it now. I'm gonna do them all, by the way, but so we do the power slug, and I'm not gonna listen to Ada. I'm gonna explain to you. Now we have 2 new ones. we can transform now these power slug into power shard, and I'll show you that in a second. Then this is another type of power slug, the yellow ones. Then there's going to be even a purple one. Here we have, we can spend some resources to be able to scan power slugs. And then here, this is the overclocking. That is a really important one, actually. Let's do it. So I'm going to go here to do a power shard. So I'm going to use one of my blue power slug to create a power shard. Here it is, we have one. Actually, maybe let's create a few more. And let's also take this. And I have, so I'm just going to put that inside, take this in. We're going to want to also take some of the others, the quartz, the sulfur, the caterium. Perfect. Actually, let's take all of this for now. And while we're here, so I can do a few more power shards. Let's definitely do it right away, because there's nothing else you can use those things for anyway. And we can also create a couple of proteins, the new thing we unlock, right, just before. Okay. And now let's go back to the map. Right? We're going back to the MAM. We can over here, for example, do now this one, right, of starting the research. Those research are usually pretty fast, as you can see, so that's not too much of a problem.
Research completed. Alien protein can now be turned into biomass or alien DNA capsules. In addition to being used for research, the invaluable alien lifeform data in these capsules can be traded for fix-it coupons at the Awesome Sink. We guarantee the best capsule to coupon exchange rate anywhere on this planet.
That's nice. Guaranteeing the base rate. So power slug, as I said, I want to do the overclocking right away, because we're going to be able to use this now into the new factory that we're going to create. So with overclocking, we're going to be able to upgrade our productivity.
Overclocking development completed. Power shards can now be inserted into all buildings to increase input and output speed. Underclocking is also possible. Note, power consumption of overclocked buildings increases exponentially.
Yeah.
The crystalline mineral was a previously unknown variation of quartz, with uniquely large and flawless crystals. I will now assume you are an expert and judge your use of these technologies.
Thank you. So yes, now the other branch over here is the quartz. So I did find a bit of quartz on the map, right? And with this, we've been able to first unlock this one, where it's going to make it scannable. So if I press V over here, now I have the raw quartz. I can try to see if there's any close by. I'm going to give it a second, because I don't think there's any that close. I'm not hearing a ping, so I guess it hasn't found any. Not great, but anyway, that's its life. Oh, here it is. We found a few. Okay, found two all the way over here. So they're not that close, and a few over there, a few over there. So you can see the ping can go quite far. And then, so these would be actual mines of quartz, right? To be very clear. Then we've also unlocked two things over here, quartz crystal and silica, which means that with this, we can start transforming the raw quartz into those things, and then we can use them for other elements. We're going to want the blade runners soon for sure, but I don't have enough yet. We can do the same for sulfur, right? We found a bit of sulfur, so we can start unlocking it right away, right? And I can do the same here.
This unknown chemical element was in reality an unusual mixture of solid sulfide and sulfate materials from which sulfur can be extracted. Sulfur's primary use lies in fertilizers, which we have no use for. Instead, this element enables access to more volatile obstacle clearing and pioneer defending tools.
So in plain English, what does that mean is we're going to be able to create bombs. With this, we're going to be able to create obelisk, which are basically bombs to break bigger things. The other really important element with the sulfur is in this branch over here, we can go into better power generation. We can unlock compacted coal, and then we can unlock also new types of fuel over here. So that's going to be really important. But we don't really have that much sulfur right now, so we're going to have to wait a bit. So we showed you those first two over here. Then nutrients, can quickly do these ones too, because we have all three of the nuts.
This fruit, dubbed the paleberry due to its tendency to stay light in color even when ripe, is compatible with the human digestive system and has been added to the... I see that I'm talking too slow for your taste.
She's so smart. I love it.
I hope that was enlightening.
I didn't get anything, but okay, yeah. Next one, we're gonna need resources we don't have yet though, so we're a bit blocked here. But we did unlock, you know, we know what they are and we can scan them. So these ones, this is not gonna be scanned with V. This is actually going to be scanned with the scanner that we built last time. So in the past, in the scanners, there was not much. Now you can see it is written Palberry. Now it's not finding anywhere close, so that's not really helpful. But I can click on, you know, the right mouse button to try to find something else. Mushberry, mushrooms. Okay, for now I only have these ones. In the future we'll also get a few others like the power slugs, etc. And if there was one close by, it would start beeping and I could go into that direction. Okay, so we've done this one, then we have the caterium. Let's also unlock the caterium. Here it is.
The metal has been named Caterium after Fixit's greatest CEO Katerina Parks. It has been added as a viable alternative to gold in industrial applications, specifically in advanced electronics due to its superconductivity, malleability, and corrosion resistance. Research completed. Caterium ingot recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
So yes, we have now unlocked two things. One is if I go into the smelter, I have now the caterium ingot, so I can transform caterium ore into ingots. And then second, most importantly, I can try to find caterium ingots now on the map, an actual mine. We're gonna see if it finds any. In the meantime, oh yes, it is. So the closest is there or there. So yeah, the spatial resource, there's obviously a lot less of these than you know, the iron, etc. But also remember that this is just a small part of the map. The map is way bigger than this. So that was caterium, alien technology now. That's important. Let's do the summer sloop. Done. This is completely new version 1 content.
Analysis completed. Summer sloops are somewhere between battery and conduit, harvesting energy from pockets of space with complete disregard for the rules of the space-time continuum, and distributing it into its connected ecosystem. This energy...
Ooh, what's happening? Consume.
Similarities to the hypothetical force of dark energy to potentially be one and the same. It can now be tracked by the object scanner.
So yes, with this here, we have now unlocked the ability to scan them, which will be of course very powerful. We cannot do the next one because it requires SAM fluctuators, and for that we need to have SAM. But we can see what's happening over here. We can see we're gonna get the power augmenter in the future. We're gonna get production amplifier. So that's gonna be really cool new content. We'll discover it a bit later though. And then on the other side, we have the Mercer sphere. All right, so let's unlock that too.
Mercer sphere analysis completed. Established local planetary signature of massage 2, AB, B, in the local Mercer sphere signals, allowing them to be tracked by the object scanner. Mercer spheres can also transmit data between specific...
Witness our scripture.
Ooh.
Witness our windows. Have you come to defile our shrine? Sing us on.
Arguing the existence of intelligent alien life. While Fixit has figured out the method, all of the original data is still untranslatable.
Interesting. And this is one really big thing with version 1 is we have those dimensional depot. You're gonna be able to basically feed resources similar to a depot like these ones, but with those dimensional ones, then whatever you put in will become available everywhere in the map. So it's like a big warehouse in your pocket, if you wish. That's really powerful. And then last but not least, we did get one of these hard drives. These ones take 10 minutes. So So that's going to take a bit of time. But the really interesting thing is that in the hard drive library, you can have multiple hard drives, and you can also re-roll one time. So that's very different from how it was in early access. We'll see that probably in the next episode. So yes, over here we have done cutting a lot of trees. We have done the map. So let's do a new concrete mini factory. Now, you may be wondering why concrete? That seems boring. Well, it is for the main reason that you need a lot of concrete to make foundations. To make those foundations, you need concrete, and you need a lot of concrete and a bit of iron plates, but then we can also get an upgrade, or not an upgrade, a different type, let's say, of foundations, which are called concrete foundation, which only use concrete. So having more concrete is definitely going to be very important. We're going to want to do that right now. And this is all of those things over here, right? I need all of those things to make it happen. Before we go there, let's actually put another few more to make sure they're not empty. And what we may want to do is, we see that our capacity is 70, our mass consumption is 52. So the new line, the new factory we're going to make, for concrete may get us over the 70. So let's actually build another one. Now, what I just did is press Control and the middle mouse button. This way it just duplicates whatever I was looking at. Then we're gonna put it just here for now. It's fine. A bit ugly, but that's okay. And then connect that here. Put again some of these. Perfect. And so now we're moving to 100. So that should be totally fine. Let's go. No, I need to take... Do I have enough resources? Sorry, I didn't check. That seems to be fine. Okay. So let's go. Let's go. We're gonna want to do a new factory, and I already found where, and you can see it's over there. Why? I found this while I was cutting the trees on this side, right? And you can of course also do this to find it. We know there is one here, but we know there is also one over there, and then in the future there's one not that far. So the way we're gonna do it is, I think we're gonna start maybe somewhere here. With a foundation. So let's start putting foundations also as number 5 on my hotbar, right? And you may remember also earlier I said you can press R to change between default, which is just putting one of these, between zoop, which will put multiple like that in a horizontal way, and then the last one is vertical. But before we do this, what I'm gonna do is actually build over here. Oops, sorry. We're gonna build one of these lookout tower, because the lookout tower at the beginning of the game is really great to be able to build from high up. Instead of being down on the ground, you can be high and you can start planning what you want to do. So then I'm going to press 5 and I'm going to press Control. Now, why Control? Because Control is enabling me to lock this foundation. You can see when I press Control, it's moving slightly. I'm locking it on a grid. It's an invisible grid, but it's a worldwide grid. So that way, if I make a factory here and then another factory there and another factory even 10 kilometers away, they're all going to be on the same grid. So it's going to be a lot easier to connect them to each other. So we know we want to make a factory somewhere over here, and I want to have a bridge to go this side easily. Where should I put the bridge? Maybe over here. Yeah. Okay, so we're putting a first bridge there, right? And then we connect. Okay, and then we can start going on this side there. Now, if you don't need the tower anymore, you can delete it, or you can always put it back. But this way now we can easily cross the pond. And for me, this is not that important. Like, I can swim, but it's also when we start moving resources around, then that becomes a lot more important, right? So let's expand that a bit further. Okay, and that can probably be a good place for the factory here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put again a lookout tower over here, and so I can go up and build everything from the top view. In the future, we'll unlock, the ability to fly, etc. So that will help us. But for now, it's good enough. Now, I may be slightly too high. We're gonna have to check that out because the mine does need to be, connected to the actual resource underneath. We're gonna have to see that, but it's fine. It will, I'll show you in a second. Okay, so that's the first, small base, and we're very low on iron plates. I think I built a few too many per my plan, because it's hard to plan exactly how many foundations. I mean, you can try to plan exactly how many foundations, but I didn't. So press 8, we can see that indeed, if I put it on top here, it says it's too high. And if I put it on the resource, it's a bit low. But what we can do is we can do something like this. So give me a second. There's this guy that wants to attack me, so we're gonna have to fight. Oh, I have it, that's not a problem. Okay, so I'm gonna make one that is slightly lower, right? I'm gonna make it like this, for example. Then I'm gonna make a ramp, a 2-meter ramp to the top here. Okay, so like that, perfect. And then we're gonna press E to get to a 2-meter foundation at the bottom, and that should be, I think, enough to, to be close enough basically to the bottom. I can check that in a second if that is good enough, but I think it should be. We're missing some iron plates, sorry, so I'm gonna have to delete those through here. Temporary, we can rebuild later a bit more, but yeah, here it is. This is fine. This is fine. Now we can try to align it nicely. Right, that looks good. Perfect. I forgot to actually bring some electricity, so that's my bad. And then, we can see, okay, here it is. This is a bit too much plate. So I think we're gonna have to go back to get some more iron. I just used way too much iron, or didn't plan for enough. But the rest of the things we're gonna be able to build. Now, what I do want to show you right away though, is here, we have now unlocked this thing at the bottom, which is the overclocking. If I put some of these power shards, right, I'm gonna be able to start unlocking new productivity level. Instead of stopping at 100, I can move to 150 with the first one, 200 with the second, and 250 to the final one. So that enables me, to move from, what was it, 60, right? From 60 to 150. We do have a small problem right now that my logistic is limited to 60. So there's no real point in increasing it above 60 right at this moment. But we're gonna unlock, that one very soon. And this is also because this one here, this is a normal node, right? So that's why we're producing 60. You may remember that on this one over here, right, the one we built before, this was an impure node, and therefore we're actually only producing 30. So overclocking this one would actually be a good idea right away. But on this one, I'm gonna take away these for now because we don't need them. So yeah, let me just, get some iron plates, come back, and we're gonna make a mini factory over here. Okay, so I'm back on the tower. I've brought some more resources. I also brought the energy with me, right? We have the pillars here, so we have electricity. Now, what are we gonna do? So remember, we're getting some limestone here, and this is basically one of the easiest factory because we're just gonna transform this limestone into the concrete in one constructor. There's nothing else. We do want to add one thing in logistic over here. We have unlocked the conveyor merger and splitter. Now, in my experience, you typically use a lot more splitters than mergers. So I'm gonna put this one as number 9, but then it's also very easy, right? I press 9 and then I can press E to go into the merger. And in the future also the smart splitter. But yeah, this is basically gonna be the idea. We're going to first take this up. I want to make it straight somehow. Okay, that should be straight. Okay. So then the idea again is we're gonna have splitters. So they come this side, right? And we're gonna put them actually, sorry, let me put the constructors first. So we're gonna put one constructor over here, and we're gonna put a second one next to it. Why two? Well, I'll show you in a second. And now we can see that I can't actually really see well what's happening, but we can see the lines, right? Here I see the lines, I think, are fully aligned. And we don't really need a second splitter because, you know, it's the end of the line for now. But in the future, when we have higher marks, we could have more buildings, right? So I'm gonna still put one. It's a good, you know, thing to do. We're going to also expand this further. Let's go like this, and maybe one more. Okay. Because the idea is, you know, to make it as modular, as expandable as possible, is this line can continue this side, and on the other hand, we have a line that goes this side to be merged. So in this case, again, this is more like a merger, right? Where we want the merger to go that side. Again, we don't really need to put one here, but I'm gonna put one so that it's clean and ready for future expansion. And then, you know, we can have this somewhere over here. So it is a very basic factory, right? But it's a factory that should be working pretty well still. It's not gonna be 100% productivity, I'll show you why, but anyway. Now, we can also use R to have different build modes in the belt. Because if I have the default, it's not very pretty. If I press R, now it's pretty, right? So that is good. Now we're gonna want to do the same on the other side, which you may want to go down, you know, to be able to do it a bit easier. And again, when we're flying later, that will definitely be even more easier. Oh, this is not a line. Oh, what is happening? I wish I had my Blade Runners already to be able to jump. So we're gonna just delete that. It may not be 100% aligned, that's okay. I'm gonna do this. Okay, pretty clean nonetheless. Alright, and then we need some energy. So my energy is here and there. Okay, let's maybe take this one. Press 2 and go all the way here. Okay. And then we're gonna put one here. Connect there. And then, you know, there's multiple ways to connect to those constructors. Some people like to hide them, you know, with beams and things like this. Well, we're at the beginning of the game, so I'm gonna make it very simple. I'm gonna put it in between the two over here, and then that's easy to connect to both. Now, what is left? I mean, we have the limestone that's coming. We need to tell the constructor what to do. And by the way, you may have seen that from the early game. Now we have already a lot more of recipes. Okay, let's start with the concrete, right? And we can do copy with Control C and paste with Control V. Now we're talking about 45, right, for each. And this one is only producing 60 at the moment. So that is why it's not gonna work perfectly. But it is also more than one, you know, 60 is obviously more than 45. So that's why I've put 2. This way we're gonna produce, again, a lot more concrete than before. So very simple factory, right? Nothing extraordinary. I mean, it's not even a factory, let's be honest. It doesn't even have walls or anything like this, but it's pretty clean and organized. And we're gonna want to do this, obviously, for all of our factory going forward, right? Everything should be on those foundations as much as possible. Everything should be cleanly organized. In many cases, we're also going to want to bring all of the raw resources together in the same place, right? But for now, given that we don't have that much resources, and also given that the belts are limited to 60 per minute, it doesn't make that much sense, you know, to bring, for example, this limestone all the way over here. What we can do with this one, though, is we can start doing a small overclock. Oh, and by the way, I think this is Caterium over here. We can go get it later. Because remember, well, we need 45 for this to work at 100%. This is only making 30. So this is perfect, you know, overclock scenario. We're gonna write 30 over here, 45 over here. This is perfect, 150. So now this should start working 100%. So it should never be yellow, it should always be green going forward. It may need 1 minute, you know, to get started, but after that we should be good. Now this white one here, or blue, depending on the person you ask, this is because this is overclock, right? So you can see that. So it is, ladies and gents, we have now the MAM. We have our first hard drive that is in the MAM. Actually, we can go see it, because I think 10 minutes have passed. And we have a new small factory, right, over here. So that is good progress. We have also used our first splitter and merger, and so we're gonna be able to start using that now going forward on everything. Okay, so let's check in the MAM. How we're doing. We have, you know, scan one hard drive. So this is now, you know, over here you have
Hard drive analysis completed.
yeah, okay. So we have over here all of the research tree, right? And if you click here, hard drive library, you can see all of the hard drive that I've started to research. This one, it has one rescan remaining, meaning, you know, if I don't like both of these, I can say rescan. If I like one of these, I can select, or what I can also do is just wait. I can wait, leave it there. You know, the reality is I don't really need anything right now. But at the beginning of the game, I don't have access, you know, to silica. I don't have access to caterium ingot, so I don't really need any of these two. But I may not want to you know, maybe later I'll need it. So I'm not gonna rescan right away. I'm just gonna keep it and, you know, try to get others. And you can have as many as you want over here. It's not like it is limited to one like before. So that is a really great improvement with version 1 again. So it is, ladies and gents, some good progress. I hope you're still enjoying this series. Do tell me in the comments below what you want to see, what you're excited by, and I hope to see you next time.